Hey there, tech fans. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Tech Stocks Daily, where we sift through the tech grapevine to spot clash the top movers and shakers on the NASDAQ. Today, we're kicking things off with Spotify. They've impressed with user and premium subscriber growth and navigated a pesky tax hiccup. Is their streaming strategy music to investors' ears? Next, we've got an essential alert from Fortis as they prep for fiscal revelations and shareholder shindigs, electrifying details inside. And lastly, we're dialed in on Certara's frontier in biopharma, with upcoming investor conferences and innovations in drug development. Grab your headphones, settle in, and let's dive into these captivating tech tales. Hey tech lovers, let's dive into the digital realm today, starting with Spotify, a fan favorite in the music streaming world that's been hitting some impressive high notes lately, but not without a couple of sour chords. Spotify's been buzzing in the headlines, which is always exciting, but this time it's a mix of triumphs and, well, some financial hiccups. First off, Spotify has showcased some solid momentum heading into 2025. The platform now boasts 678 million active users, a 10% increase from last year. Meanwhile, premium subscribers clocked in at 268 million, marking a 12% year-over-year surge. Impressive, right? As the leading global music streaming service, they're pulling users in like free merch in a music festival crowd. Additionally, despite the rapid user growth and a stellar 15% boost in quarterly sales to $4.41 billion, Spotify didn't quite hit the high note with its earnings per share. They reported earnings of $1.13 per share, which fell short of Wall Street's expectations of $2.33. The culprit behind this miss? A hefty tax bill. Spotify had to shell out approximately 76 million euros in employment taxes due to its skyrocketing share price increase last year. It seems like a lesson straight out of Monopoly. Occasionally, a community chest with hidden expenses can make even the wealthiest player wince. On the bright side, Spotify has been working on its profitability game, with a healthy increment in gross margin by 403 basis points year over year, now sitting at 31.6%. Their ad-supported revenue also grew by 8%, aided by improvements in their premium and ad-supported segments. And the best part? They doubled their free cash flow for the quarter to 534 million euros. Cha-ching. Despite fluctuating stock prices, Spotify's looking ahead with optimism, projecting their revenue for the next quarter at $4.52 billion and eyeing 689 million users. While these expectations are slightly under what analysts hoped for, the growth in premium subscribers is on its way to exceeding those anticipations. So, what does this symphony of data mean for Spotify? They're still thriving in their industry, dealing with a few hurdles here and there, but managing to keep listeners tuned in. With rising advertising revenues and scalability in their favor, Spotify's roadmap appears to have plenty in the way of exciting features. Think potential new price tiers, enhanced ad options, and even video podcasts. Their strategy seems to suggest that, even with some unexpected costs, they're strumming along to future growth. Tech aficionados, keep your headphones plugged in because Spotify's sticking around for an encore. Now let's keep scrolling through the playlist of tech trends making waves today. Today's tech news brings us a snapshot of an important upcoming event for Fortis Inc., a major player in the North American regulated electric and gas utility industry. Based in Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada, Fortis is gearing up for a significant couple of days in early May. On Wednesday, May 7th, 2025, Fortis will release its first quarter financial results for the year. To provide insights and updates on these results, the company will host a teleconference and webcast on the same day at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. This digital gathering will feature presentations by heavyweight figures in the company. David Hutchins, the President and Chief Executive Officer, alongside Jocelyn Perry, the Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer, are set to take the virtual stage. They'll break down the numbers for analysts, investors, shareholders, and anyone else sniffing around for financial details, because nothing says excitement quite like a deep dive into utility revenues and expenditures. Friendly neighborhood financial wizards, particularly those in Canada and the US, who are itching to unleash their questions, are encouraged to participate toll-free in this call. But worry not if you're dialing in from across the globe. Fortis has got you covered too. They've released international dial-in options for those connecting from outside Canada and the US. Remember to chime in early. They've advised folks to join 10 minutes ahead, just like that bashful friend who always arrives late to the online karaoke jam. Fortis doesn't stop there with its 2025 shenanigans. On the very next day, they're set to host their annual meeting of shareholders. This event has a dual access option. Join the party physically in St. John's, Newfoundland at the Fortis Energy Center, or grab your best virtual seat online. At this gathering, participants can engage with the Q&A session, submitting burning questions as they bubble up in real time. Fortis isn't just about entertaining our clicks and calls. They boast some massive stats in their portfolio. With 2024 revenues reported at $12 billion and total assets valuing an impressive $73 billion, the company serves utility customers across 5 Canadian provinces, 10 US states, and 3 Caribbean countries. Talk about electrifying diversity. Listed under the trading symbol FTS on both the TSX and NYSE, Fortis provides easy access to their press releases and financial insights. They've laid it all out on their investor relations page, ensuring you know exactly where to go for a full breakdown in glorious PDF format. So, whether you're in it for the number crunching or the corporate governance glamour, Fortis is making it accessible and streamlined, evidenced by today's prevalent news. We'll be keeping an eye on these developments as Fortis continues to light the way through the financial quarters of 2025. All right, tech enthusiasts, gather round because I've got some exciting updates from the world of biopharma that's set to tickle the brains of all you drug development nerds out there. Today, we're shining the spotlight on Certara Inc., the trailblazer in the model-informed drug development space. So what exactly landed them in today's tech headlines? Well, gray cells at work. It's all about Certara's upcoming gigs on the investor circuit. These events are always a high-octane affair for companies on the NASDAQ. And if you're someone who geeks out over biosimulation software, you're in for a treat. Certara, which is strutting its ticker symbol, CERT, on the big stage, announced that its management team will partake in upcoming investor conferences. Investor conferences are like the rock concerts in the business world, where companies showcase their latest innovations, financial health, and strategic plans for the future. For those ready to swoon over some drug development talk, Certara will be streaming their live webcasts via their investor relations website. Mark the URL, htt/ir.certara.com. It's going to be hot real estate in the next few days, and will hold replays for 90 whole days after. For those who might not know, Certara isn't just throwing big words around for show. They're making serious moves in the pharma world by using biosimulation technology to quite literally turn the tables on traditional drug discovery. With over 2,400 clients, including heavyweights from biopharmaceutical spheres, academic circles, and regulatory big guns across 66 countries, they've got a pretty formidable fan club. Their work is streamlined towards not just accelerating medicine development, but transforming it with cutting-edge software and tech services. If you ask me, Certara's invite to these conferences is like an audition for the next big superhero movie. Who wouldn't want to tune in for that cast announcement? Whether you're tuning in live or catching the replay, these conferences are a treasure trove for expert analysis, industry updates, and those cheeky trade insights we all love. Now, lovely viewers and listeners, I turn the spotlight over to you. We're all dying to know. What are your thoughts on Certara's next big move in the investor circuit? Do you use any of their services or have experience in the biosimulation field? Spill the tea in the comments below, and let's strike up a conversation about the ingenious minds at Certara and the prospect of biosimulation advancing drug development. Feel free to hit those keys and tell the world what you think. Always eager to see the bustling conversation brew as we eagerly track the moves of this mega company. All right, tech fam, let's dig into some tunes and numbers with Spotify, shall we? Based on today's news, if I were sitting in the stock market audience, I'd be leaning towards a hold for Spotify. Here's the scoop. Spotify is driving some impressive growth with a 10% lift in active users and an even higher 12% bump in premium subscribers. This is fantastic news because more people jamming to their playlists means more revenue, right? Indeed, Spotify saw a 15% hike in quarterly sales. But here's where it hits a bit of a feedback loop. Despite these harmonic growth notes, Spotify missed the earnings per share expectations due to a hefty tax bill related to its skyrocketing stock price last year. Ouch. It's like getting slapped with a surprise cover charge at your fave concert. Plus, the earnings per share reported at 1 or 13 cents fell short of the anticipated 2.33 cents, giving investors a sudden case of agita. Nevertheless, the company is making strides on the profitability stage with impressive improvements in gross margins and ad-supported revenue. They've doubled their free cash flow. Now that's a tantalizing melody for Spotify. The move into enhancing ad options and potentially diving deeper into video podcasts also paints a promising composition for future growth. Given the high notes tempered by a few sharp notes, Spotify feels more like a hold, especially if you're already invested. They're on track to refine their musical ensemble with new revenue streams and growing users, but the shadow of those unexpected taxes needs to clear for a solid buy recommend. Remember though, this is just one track of the album. Always do your own research, consider your financial situation, and maybe consult with a professional before hitting play on or off your stock decisions. Do your own research, consider your investing goals, and maybe jam out with a seasoned financial advisor before you make any moves. Stay tuned with fresh ears for the next quarterly album drop. Today's tech market scene bounced between upbeat tunes and strategic moves. Spotify delighted us with user growth and promising financial maneuverings despite a little trip over unexpected tax bills, suggesting a cautious hold for some with their stocks. Meanwhile, Fortis is electrifying its investor connections with detailed financial meetups, and Certara is poised to dazzle at investor conferences with groundbreaking biosimulation tech. If you enjoyed today's rundown and want to stay plugged in to the latest updates, definitely smash that like button, subscribe, and consider sharing this vibe with your fellow tech aficionados. Don't hit pause just yet. Tune in tomorrow for another round of tech rhythms that'll keep you ahead of the game. Keep your notifications on track. See you in the next one.